Nothing came out, not the way it used to, not with that release, not with that feeling of completion you've known your whole life. And in that silence after, you had one thought you couldn't shake. Is this permanent? Stay with me. Because what's happening has a name. And more importantly, it has a reason. Most men over 60 who experience this say the same thing. It happened gradually. So gradually that at first they weren't sure if it was real. One time felt like a fluke. The second time felt like a pattern. By the third time, they knew something had changed. And yet almost no one talks about it. Not to their doctor, not to their wife, not to anyone. Because there's a specific kind of shame that comes with this. Quiet, private, and heavier than most men expect. You've spent decades feeling capable, feeling like your body was something you could count on. And now there's this one area, this deeply personal part of who you are as a man, where your body isn't delivering the way it used to. That's not just a physical experience, that's an identity experience, and it deserves to be taken seriously. Here's what most men are never told about this. What you're experiencing, that reduced finish, that incomplete release, that sense that something is being held back, is in many cases directly connected to circulation, specifically to how efficiently your body is moving blood through the systems that control that response. After 60, the circulatory system begins to change. Blood moves differently. Pressure patterns shift. The vessels that carry blood to specific areas become less responsive than they once were. And when that happens, the body's ability to build toward and complete that response weakens. It's not random. It's not mysterious. It's physiological. And understanding that changes everything. I've left a link in the description that goes deeper into this. Specifically, how men over 60 are supporting their circulation naturally. Take a look when you finish watching. Now here's what makes this harder to talk about than almost any other health issue a man can face. When your knee hurts, you tell someone. When your back goes out, you mention it. When your blood pressure is high, your doctor knows. But this stays locked inside, behind closed doors, in the silence after a moment that didn't go the way you hoped. And that silence is expensive. Because the longer this goes unaddressed, the longer the body goes without the support it needs, the more the pattern tends to solidify. Men's health specialists who work with this age group consistently note that the men who address circulatory changes early have significantly better outcomes than those who wait. Not because time makes it impossible, but because the body responds better when support comes sooner rather than later. Think of it like this. Imagine your body's circulatory system as a network of roads. When those roads are clear and wide, everything moves efficiently. Signals travel fast, responses happen on time, the body performs the way it should. But after 60, some of those roads start to narrow, traffic slows, deliveries take longer, and the systems at the end of those roads, the ones that depend on steady, strong flow, start to underperform. That's what's happening when the finish feels incomplete. The road is narrower than it used to be. The delivery isn't arriving with the same strength, but roads can be supported, flow can be improved. And that's where many men over 60 are starting to see real differences. Not through medication, not through anything dramatic, but through targeted, consistent support for the circulatory system. There's a second layer to this that almost no one discusses. And once you understand it, a lot of things will start to make sense. The muscles involved in that final response, the ones responsible for that release and that sensation of completion, are directly dependent on nerve signaling. And nerve signaling, like circulation, becomes less efficient after 60. So what you're experiencing isn't just one system slowing down, it's two systems, circulation and nerve communication, both changing at the same time. And because they work together, when both are underperforming, the effect on that response is compounded. Weaker flow, slower signals, less complete release. That's the real picture, and it's important that you have it, because most men are only ever told it's just age and sent home with no real explanation and no real path forward. You deserve better than that. Here's what the research in men's health consistently points to. Men who focus on circulatory support, who give their body the specific nutrients and compounds that help maintain healthy blood flow, report that over time, the body begins to respond differently, more consistently, more completely. It doesn't happen in a week, but it does happen. And for men who have spent months or years quietly accepting this decline, that shift, even when it's gradual, is profound because it's not just physical. When that part of your body starts working better, something else comes back with it. Confidence, presence, the feeling of being fully yourself again. Maybe you've been avoiding intimacy because you're not sure what's going to happen. Maybe you've been making excuses. Tired, stressed, not the right moment. Because you'd rather avoid the situation than face another disappointing result. That's more common than you know. And it makes complete sense. But avoidance doesn't fix the foundation. It just delays the conversation your body is already trying to have with you. Your wife noticed the distance, even if neither of you said anything about it directly. There's a quiet space that opened up between you. And you both feel it. You just haven't found the words yet. That space doesn't have to stay there. Your body is not betraying you. It is not broken. Beyond repair, it is signaling, clearly, consistently, that it needs support in a very specific area. And the men who listen to that signal, who take it seriously instead of pushing it aside, are the ones who get their lives back. 6 months from now, you could be in one of two places, still wondering if things will ever feel normal again. Or looking back at this moment, this video, this decision to take it seriously, as the turning point. The difference between those two outcomes isn't age. It isn't how far the decline has gone. It's whether you decide today that your body is worth supporting. I think you already know the answer to that. Before you go, I want to ask you something. Has your wife noticed the distance? Even if neither of you said anything about it directly, leave your answer in the comments. You'd be surprised how many men watching this right now are carrying the exact same thing in silence. The link is in the description. Read it when you have a quiet moment. It explains the approach many men over 60 are using to support their circulation and why it's making a difference. You are not too late. Your body is still listening. Give it what it needs.